What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Both old and new. Welcome to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you, y'all see the title, a review for DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I think it's the 11th episode, season 6. I want to say it's the 11th episode, called The Final Frame. Yeah, it's the 11th episode. So, like I said, thank you all for joining me. But we're going to get straight into it. For those who don't know, those who are just not joining the channel, I like to give a synopsis first before I get into the review part. So, when the Legends track down another alien pod, they find a device that transports them to a cosmic bowling alley. Nate plans a romantic date for him and Zari, but nothing goes as planned. What that synopsis don't tell you is that the Nate and Zari sub story is like one of two sub stories. If I remember correctly, yeah, that's one. The main story is dealing with this cosmic bowling thing, and then the sub story is, Nate and Zari and their relationship, and then the second sub story is about Ava trying to find the perfect wedding dress. So now that we got that to understanding, now let's break it down on what happens in this episode. So, as the synopsis says, and as we've been seeing in the promotional art, as you've been looking, Sarah, Rory, Spooner, Astra. I think that was it. It was just Sarah, Rory, Spooner, and Astra. Yep, just them. It was just them four. They all basically go find this alien. Pausing for those who haven't been paying attention to the series and just want to know what I'm talking about. This season deals with like aliens and how the aliens like they fall into the time stream, causing them to be scattered throughout history and whatnot. So, with that being said, with that being adjourned, trying to see. I think that I wanted to point out that it was a guy. I think he was in the previous episode when it was in the Wild, one of the previous episodes. I think they brought him over. He was in like the Wild Wild West episode. I think he played the villain in this episode. But anyway, the main thread of the episode is that there's this that's like this cube. In the alien, in these pods, they've been finding different aliens in them. Different aliens, different species. They had different effect on the human world and history. But this time, the pod didn't have an alien in it. It had an alien device in it. So it was like I guess like everybody, like Spooner, Astra, Rory, and Sarah, all of them touched the box and it glowed like different colors as they were trying to touch the box to try to solve like the little puzzle or whatever. So everybody kept touching the box one by one, like it glued different. And then somebody said, "Oh, I think I know this one type of puzzle box that you gotta solve." Then they grabbed it and touched it, glued a different color. And then Sarah just like, she radioed back to Ava. This is gonna take us a little bit. This might be a while, So Sarah is like the last one to touch it, but Ava is like, you know what? Take all the time you need, babe, because in secret she was trying to find the perfect wedding dress. Sarah gets agitated because of the constant bickering between Rory, Astra, and Spooner. So that's when she grabs the cube. It's like, give this to me. I know what to do with it. And them struggling with it, all of a sudden they get sucked into it, and they are now in some type of cosmic bowling alley. They're in some type of bowling alley that they find out is in actual space, is in outer space, and they don't know how they got there. This also has a dramatic effect on the world, but you'll soon find that out like later on the episode why it does, because it ties in. This part ties into the sub story for Zari and Nate, who are like basically going out back camping. They try to, you're doing this, because Ava only got 24 hours left, to be in the regular world before she had to go back into the totem. As you know, it's two Zaris. You got the original Zari from the original timeline where Zari lost her parents and her brother, and then you got the Zari who didn't lose all of that. But the thing is, even though Zari found a way to have her parents back without messing up the timeline, she found out it came at the cost of the fact that she would have to now live. It says she didn't die, and instead of erasing her from the timeline, it actually traps her in the totem, and that if she does come out of the totem and interact with everybody, it messes with the timeline, as in everything that changed about the timeline would start to revert back. Like Bayrat would start to revert back to being dead. His parents would go back to being dead, and everything that their lives are now in this new timeline eventually reverses. So she had said that's the price. If that's the price she have to pay for her family to live, so be it. But they found a loophole. She actually can come out of the totem and exist in that world for a short period of time before the timeline starts. And they found out that the timeline doesn't get messed up right away. As long as she goes back into the totem before the timeline messes up permanently, everything will go back to normal. So it's 24 hours before that. Nate is trying to basically, have this romantic camping getaway, but everything goes wrong. They forget the wrong bag with the food in it. They run into a couple who's also camping, but they got a whole bunch of technology. Like they got jacuzzi. They brought a jacuzzi. They brought some a tent with some lights in it. Like it looked like they just brought their house to the campground, and that also ruins their stuff. And just like multiple things that just doesn't go right for Zari, to the point where Zari and Nate question whether their relationship will work, considering that she has to be in the totem, over being out in the real world. But that quickly gets resolved. Let's see what else we got. So back the other sub story is Ava. Ava is like basically assisting. Actually, there was another sub story. I'm gonna get to that too. But the other sub story was that Ava, she's trying to find the right wedding dress, and the wedding dress that you see in when she tells Sarah to take all the time she need in the beginning, she says she tells Gary that this wedding dress is not the wedding dress that I would envision myself to be in to marry Sarah. So she enlists him to help her find the perfect wedding dress, to which they go on this wacky little wedding dress like adventure, to where Ava just wedding dress kept getting more and more ugly and dastardly by the minute. The other sub story that was a major story in the previous episode was that of John Constantine and his addiction to this drug that gives him back his magic. But like I said, it's like being high off drugs and stuff. It's like he's high off this magic stuff that's causing him to be more aggressive and more confident, but his powers are so amped by this drug that he doesn't realize that it's causing more damage than it should be. But yeah, I noticed that was a main story from the last episode that got pushed to a sub story. that story involved John Constantine and Bayrat. We had to have something for Bayrat to do. So they decided, okay, let's pair Constantine and Bayrat up, and Bayrat trying to cook John, try to help him cook with his magic, and he actually blow stuff up. It's a funny little adventure and little affair, but let's see. We get back to the cosmic bowling. Yeah, so they basically trying to figure out how do we get out of here, and they realize that everybody here is aliens. And so it's this one guy. He runs the whole bowling alley. He realized when he's realized that Sarah and them are humans from Earth. He's delighted to see them because he's an alien that apparently visit Earth and fell in love with the sport of bowling. So he made like this floating cosmic bowling alley that's in space for everybody to come and enjoy bowling for. And he's not even the main villain. He's actually a good guy. He's just a nice, wholesome bowling alley owner, alien bowling alley owner who just enjoys bowling. Like he enjoys the food, the atmosphere, the fun that the people have when they come there. He enjoys all the good things that bowling does. But the main villains of this episode are the team that Sarah and them have to face. They're the ones who somehow found the bowling alley and took it over because they like super duper awesome at bowling, and they took it over for their own nefarious purposes. What you find out is that they said they want to have cosmic bowling, and at first Ava and them not Ava, but Sarah and them don't realize what that means, and then they find out what it means, which ties back to John Constantine and Bayrat, because they try to get back to Earth, but something is going on with Earth, and you quickly find out what that was, and raise the stakes of the bowling game between Sarah's team and the alien team. In a classic story fashion, the story is basically it's just basically like the bond. It helps them to bond for like it fixes problems between two certain characters, because you got one character, you got like two of them who is like a fun comedy where they find out that one person, like none of them except for one person bowled, but they found the other person who never bowled tried it out for the first time as a natural pro at it. And I mean, you would probably safely assume who it is. It's no joke. It's obvious that the person who never bowled before and tried to bowl is a natural at it, because she's a natural at everything. But yeah, then you had them two who are the best bowlers on the team, and then you got everybody else who needs to come together. But two of them butt heads about stuff, but then they bond over why someone's been stubborn about bowling this way, and then it's just a fun affair. And I have to say that and for my own personal, I love bowling, and I love that. Just the goofiness of the episode, that the fate of Earth was hinged on a bowling game, and which plays into the title of the final frame. But yeah, if I had to say anything, I give this episode 9 big ups, just because it was a good episode. It made me laugh. I enjoyed watching them bowl and get through the ups and downs of it to come together. But in preparation for Ava's Ava and Sarah's wedding, it was just a decent episode. So I recommend you go watch it. It's a good fun-filled bowling centric episode that got some high stakes for the planet Earth. One of the reasons why I gave it a 9 is because it affected the whole planet Earth, and yet it was something that the legends deal with, and that as you probably watch the other shows, they don't talk about it at all. Though you hear according to the legends, according to this episode, the legends, everybody in the world thought the world was ending, and you'll find out why they think that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. You know, like I said, 9 big ups just because it was a decent episode. Some things it was really too much I didn't like. You know, it was just like I think the one reason why I gave it a 9 was because the Ava sub story about her wedding dress was just basically it was there for a minute, but then once it was just like thrown to the wayside real quick. Where it's not the objective of the episode was that Sarah was never Ava was never gonna know what happened until the end, like when it was all said and done, and then it looked like they were trying to set up for one of those. Well, why did nobody tell me this was going on? And everybody's like, because we didn't want to do this, but that actually came earlier than it should have been in the episode. But other than that, it was a very decent episode and I enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this review of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, then hit this button right there in the upper. I'm trying to. Where in the upper right corner for all of my reviews from beginning to now. And if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed it so much that you want to support the channel, you want to become part of the tribal chiefs tribe, you want to join the tribe, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification button so when you get notified that I do these type of videos or my gameplay videos, and hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere because I got another review cover for you that I was supposed to Ben had put out, but I forgot to do it. But so yeah, peace.